Hey everybody, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Devin. Welcome back to the D3 channel. And I am here to talk about what made me get into collecting comics, doing CGC, and kind of just how I started off and where I am now. So I started collecting, not collecting comics or whatever, but I guess until maybe 2017, I took my mom up to New York to see the Lion King Broadway and stuff like that or whatever. And I know that they had famous comic books stores there, because a lot of the comic books that were created were more up north, more in New York, and stuff like that. And so I went to Midtown and picked up, this is before Black Panther and before Infinity War, but they had Midtown exclusives of those titles. And so I picked up those two, and I was just like, I feel like these are gonna be worth something one day and whatnot. And so and those were really just my only two comics that I really had. And then so years later, I moved to where I'm at now for grad school, and plethora of comic book stores. I think at least maybe like five or six of them here. And so basically what happened was I was just grabbing books, just books that I thought looked cool, that that I remember when I was a kid and stuff like that. And I was just grabbing books. And so the collection ended up getting way bigger than I expected. And so basically, coming into now, kind of more towards the summer or whatever, it was like I started to, I liked the hobby at first or whatever, because it would be like, even though I picked up maybe like 20 books or whatever, like maybe 3 of them were like key books or something like that. The other ones just looked cool and all that. And so as time progressed and as time went by and stuff like that, during this quarantine in the summer, I just started to get real unhappy with collecting and, not finding the things that I wanted and the things that were hot, or, that key book and stuff like that, whatever. And I would always watch these other people on YouTube and stuff like that and be like, man, I wish I could find that book. Man, I wish I can grab that. Man, that book is so cool. Like, what? I can't believe they found that. And so I started to get discouraged. And so, but I started to think inward and started to realize that the reason why they got some of the books that they've gotten is because they put the money towards those books. And so it hit me that I was like, hey, Devin, if you want this set book, you have to put the money towards that book. And if you're putting money towards that book, that means you got to stop buying whatever at the comic book stores. And so that changed my whole thinking around. And so I sold like 90% of the collection that I had. I had like a long box, a short box, had one of those plastic hardcover case bins and stuff like that. And I went through all of them, made sure that I pulled out the books that were important to me. Some of them I missed out on, but then some of them I found at the comic book store that I sold it to. I ended up finding some of those like maybe 2-3 of those big books that I let slip past my eye or whatever. So that was nothing but a blessing. But anyway, so, and that's what made me really start, being able to deliver these kind of videos to you guys, because I started to rearrange my thinking when it came to this hobby. And you have your people where they collect just to collect, they collect just to invest, they collect just to flip it. and all that. And honestly, I don't plan on selling any of my books, especially my big books or whatever. I don't plan on selling them. I think for me, what I like to do is I like to get a book or whatever, or a major key or whatever, and just kind of just sit back and just let it see where it goes and stuff like that. See where the price range is for that certain grade and stuff like that. And so, and I think I enjoy that the most. I think I enjoy knowing that, hey, in my collection I have a book that's, $400 plus or $600 plus or whatever, for the grade that it's at right now. And this, but some of these books that I picked up or whatever, or I started to realize are kind of being more towards the next phase of the MCU. And I started subconsciously thinking that, without knowing it myself, that I was really picking up books and picking up keys that are going to blow up and pick up over time as we get casting, as we get, green lights for, movies and TV shows, stuff like that, or these set characters or whatever. Preferably, one of the examples, I spec'd on it way before everybody else did, to be honest, but it was the Amazing Fantasy #1, I believe. It was the first appearance of Aranya, the Hispanic Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. And so I picked up that and her first solo over the summer. And I was like, I looked at these and I was just like, with Spider-Verse 2 coming, all bets are off on what Spider-Man, Spider-Woman that they're going to bring into that. I wasn't even thinking MCU. I wasn't even thinking that Sony was even going to, start doing their own solo TV shows for these Spider characters. And then sure enough, months down the line, now we're seeing that Amazing Fantasy book of her first appearance and her first solo series are starting to really go up in price because of the potential of her being in the Sony Spider-Verse shows, or even in the animated Spider-Verse movie. And so it's one of those things where you have to kind of just sit back and really just think about what type of collector you are, why are you doing it, and the books. What books do you want? Some people just. I know people that just collect runs. That's it. Like they want the whole complete run of books, and that's their thing. I know some people that just that have big grails. Like I've seen somebody in one of my Facebook groups or whatever, a guy had a 6.0 Amazing Fantasy 15 first appearance of Spider-Man. If you look what that book goes for at a 6.0, it is insane. Like, dude's sitting on like 5-digit book. Like, it's crazy just knowing that he has that, like, as a investment, just sitting back as a reserve. And that's kind of one of the things that I started thinking about as well, is future investments. These books are future investments because at the end of the day, that print run isn't going to be printed anymore, or that specific book or that specific cover or whatever is going to be either reprinted or second print, third print, fourth print, whatever, or they just stop doing it and these books start to get scarce. And that's the reason why your Hulk 181s, even though there's so many graded or whatever, but over time it's going to get to the point where you're going to start seeing that book less and less and less of the original. Even Amazing Fantasy 15 is really scarce, you know what I mean? So it's one of those, to me, it's that thought of having a book, having it graded, and knowing that it's worth a good penny right now, but knowing later on down the line that it might go up in price 10, 20, 30 years later. And that's kind of my end game when I think about, some of these books is that at the end of the day, these books may not be worth anything now, or these books may be worth a couple of hundred, now, but who's to say that down the line these things aren't going to be worth thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, just depending on the book and depending on the character. And so that's the reason why I collect. And I know I wanted to do this video for you guys, just telling you about why I collect and kind of just my revelation when it comes to collecting and the type of collector that I want to be, is that I didn't want to just pick up books that look cool or just grab. And I will say that I do have a good bit of comics, behind me that were just grab, but they were grab for a reason or whatever. Not necessarily like every book that I have is going to be slabbed, and that's something that you have to realize too. You have to know what your budget is, because you can't go for broke on a big book and then your bills aren't taken care of, or you got to pay rent, or you haven't eaten, or you don't have any food or gas or anything like that. Like, make sure at the end of the day that you have the space, the room and wiggle room to give that money away to a book, to a certain book, and know that everything else is covered and taken care of. And that was something that I had to realize as well, or whatever, was that not that I would go for broke, but it was like I was spending so much money on these books or whatever, but at the end of the day, they aren't gonna return anything to me. And it's not just big money type thing or whatever. Like, some of the books that I have or whatever, I wanted to have just for me, and just for the fact that I love these characters, I love these books, and just the fact that these are like decades old books, and these, my She-Hulk is at a 9.4, my Nova 1 is at a 9.4, but these books are 20-cent cover books, you know what I mean? Like, these books were made in the, late 70s, early 80s and stuff like that. Like, these are decades old books in such pristine condition, and it's just the history. And I love the art, because I'm an artist, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a computer animator, and that's one of the reasons why I got into collecting. One of the main reasons was just the art. I just love the art, and just the cover art, sometimes the inner pages of the art book and stuff like that. And so, but like I said in my birthday video, when I showed you my 9.6 Spider-Man #1, the Nods Elmatic Miles Morales cover, that was my grail. That was my reason for getting in the collection, was the hip hop variants, and I still collect those. I actually got one that I have that I want to show you guys once some other boxes come in. I'm waiting for Comic Tom's. I think they just finally mailed out today. So that should be sometime later on this week, if not next week or whatever. So I already have a box sitting right here that I want to show you guys. I have another box coming in, a Greg Horn box actually, that I want to show you guys. But I want to wait to the Comic Tom box come in. That way that I have all three of those boxes. And that's another thing too, is go and venture into, not just only going to your local comic book stores, but try eBay, try these actual comic book artists that actually sell their covers on their websites. Like, you'll be surprised, like, some of the cover that you love and think they're so cool and stuff like that. You don't have to go on eBay and pay hundreds of dollars and stuff like that to get it. Sometimes the artist has it on their page for like $20, $15, $10, just depending on the book and how big that book is or whatever. But venture out, and especially be more knowledgeable in the books themselves, the market, and just how the market fluctuates, and how books that you don't even think are going to be anything end up becoming something later on down the line or whatever. So it's a lot of knowledge, and I'm thinking maybe I'll possibly do another video on this, and just kind of diving into deeper waters and stuff like that on budgeting and stuff like that. I'll definitely talk about it a little bit now and stuff. But yeah, like I said before, work on your budget, focus on your budget, and know what you're willing to spend or whatever. CGC is not cheap, and you gotta realize that when you go and send these books in to get, slabbed and pressed and clean, stuff like that, that stuff costs money. So you have to definitely make sure that, at the end of the day, you have the money, the financial means, the financial room to do it, and stuff like that or whatever. The pre-screen that I did was a luck of the draw or whatever. Everything's just worked around, special person, to me, helped me out. That special someone helped me out with that and stuff like that. And so, but now it's just like I send maybe 2, 3, or maybe 4, just depending on what it is and stuff. And so you definitely have to find your budget. Don't just always go for pre-screen, because pre-screens do cost a lot. And especially if you're going with the intent of hoping that all of them get slabbed, that's a lot of money. So definitely don't go for broke getting these books unless you have the room to do so. Some of these people go for broke on these books because that's like the one book that they want. That's the book they have to have, and that's their goal. So set a goal for yourself as well. Set that goal. Set that I'm gonna get that book or whatever. So, and when the time comes and the right time comes, and that's one of the big things that I'm ending this video with, is wait for the right time. Be patient. Don't jump the gun as soon as you see a book and you want to be like, here, just take my money, just take my money. If it doesn't feel right, if you hesitate or you feel like that's a lot of money to give to this book right now, then you shouldn't do it. Wait till the perfect time. Every single book that you guys have watched me unbox for you guys, all the CGCs, the big books and all that, all those came at like the perfect time for me, because I didn't go, because majority of those books I did not pay for what they're going for, especially like I said, that 9/6 Miles Morales hip hop variant. Like I did not pay for what a 9/6 actually goes for, but that was me waiting at the right time for that. And that's something that you have to be patient with. You're not always going to get the big books every day, every single time you look or go out and search. You just got to be patient. You have to wait for the right moment and the right perfect time for you and for how it feels to you. If it feels good to you and it feels right to you, go for it, attack it, knock it out of the park. But if it doesn't and you hesitate and it's like, oh, it's a little too much, it's a little out of my price range, stuff like that, then don't do it. Don't get it. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is, you'll love having the book, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have in your mind, dang, like, I still kind of paid a little bit too much for this book. You know what I mean? So definitely take these tips and suggestions in mind. Hopefully my story kind of helps you rethink yours, or it helps better understand your reason for collecting and why you're going into this, and how long you've been going into this. Definitely comment below. Let me know, y'all's collection story and why y'all started collecting, what book got you into collecting and stuff like that. I've been loving getting comments from you guys and just interacting with you guys, because y'all all have so many different stories, so many different perspectives and tips, and just dialogue. And I just love the dialogue. I love the community. You guys are awesome. I'm definitely grateful for every single view that I've gotten. Every video doesn't have to be hundreds and thousands of views for me. Just the fact that y'all look at my videos and y'all subscribe. We are 6 away from 200, guys. We are 6 away from 200. So definitely, if you can get somebody to subscribe that you think likes this channel, likes the content, definitely got some content dropping for you guys. It's just been, I'm doing grad school and my friends got work and stuff like that, whatever. But we're definitely creating the content and stuff like that. It just haven't dropped yet. So we definitely got some gameplay for you guys. I'm creating this new try not to laugh that I want to do for you guys, that I think you guys will really like and I think will be fun to do. And maybe you guys could try it with me, at home and stuff like that. But just a lot of content for you guys. So, and that's something that I'm so grateful for when it comes to this channel, is because it's I'm not just only doing it for me, I'm doing it for you guys. I'm building this channel in a way that, it's for everybody. It's for the people that watch it just for the gameplay, watch it for the try not to laugh, watch it for the reactions, watch it for the comic unboxings, or just to see me. So like I'm just grateful all the time, every time that I drop, that you guys are liking it, that you guys are commenting, new subscribers, and just I'm grateful for you guys. But that is my story that I wanted to tell you guys about collecting, my thoughts on it, my tips, my suggestions, and just my personal experience. And at the end of the day, all life is just your experience that you have to pass on to somebody else, so they either don't follow the same mistake or they do it better and progress better and stuff like that. And I definitely want to help you guys progress better, and elevate you guys, and you guys elevate me. So again, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, click that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, so every single time I drop a video for you guys get the notifications. We're 6 away from 200, guys. Let's push it. Let's push it. If we can get that before this weekend, I'll definitely do a short little mini video about the giveaway, 200 subscriber giveaway, and what day I'm gonna do the live stream and stuff like that, especially the people that commented under that video. The description will be down below on how to subscribe, how to get into that giveaway, because once I hit 200, like anybody after that comments and stuff like that aren't in it, are in that giveaway. Is only toward the people that were commenting and subscribing all the way up to 200. But that's enough about that. You guys have an amazing Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, baby. Be safe, be vigilant, take care of yourselves, take care of your family, and I'll see you guys later.